Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? 1 of 1 here, back again. And I'm still working on this thing. So, I think I have something of an idea going that could potentially work. So, we can actually ignore this. I think that's set to setting. Setting is currently set to 0. Well, actually, no, we actually need that. I mean, we could set that with one of those too. That would be easier, I think. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, hang on. Let me set some stuff up first, and then I'll kind of explain to you like what I'm doing here. Okay, so the dial is cool, but we don't need it. So I was messing around with. Oh, hand drill is out of power again? This is like the second time this thing has run out of batteries. To give you an idea of just how often I have been taking things apart and putting things back down is just insane. But anyways, right. So I was messing around with the sorter, and I can probably make it work the way that I want it to work. But there's an issue. It's not exactly straightforward. Hang on, let me get this on here correctly first. Okay. It's not exactly straightforward to use with ICs. It can be done, but it is not anything that is anywhere near easy to understand. All right, and then we'll go here. Okay. All right, so what this is doing, like these little switches, is these are forcing a value onto something, right? So like for instance, this one here is setting my little digital flip-flop. It is setting the power to off all the time, right? So at least it should be, state is 1, what? Should be 0. Oh, wait, no, off. Yeah, this is, so like off is on and on is off, or like 1 is off and 0 is on. So it's just a little weird, but that basically keeps everything off, right? So like if I were to flip this, is it not working? Hello? Oh, now it's on. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so now it's off. But basically, you need to force values onto some of these things in order to make them work. So, also, did I put that in there wrong? I think I put that in there wrong. Yeah, I did. There's no port right there. Okay. I've been at this for longer than I care to admit, but I'm getting close. I need you to go to this and then flip around that way. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. So now let's go back here. Now the other thing that we have to set is the setting. Okay, so the setting is this little dial right here, right? So you see we've got a ratio of 0 to 1. We need to force that, like every single time. So we want to make sure that this is set to 0. We'll turn that on. That should hopefully keep this at 0, right? Now, these can be overridden temporarily, but they should turn things back off once they're done. So to show you an example, and hopefully it works now that I've taken it apart. Watch, it's probably not going to work, and I'd be like, well, it did work. Okay. So see how it turned, it flipped up, right? And then it flipped back down, and then it also flipped on, and then it flipped back off, right? So let's do that one more time. So yeah, so flip. So you can see here that we've got an issue, like it's a timing issue, right? So here's the thing, right? We need this to flip first and then turn on, right? Because once it flips up, and the reason why it's flipping up is because it's reading coal. So here's my coal, right? And then it's reading off of the occupant hash, and then it's comparing that to this. So if that equals this, meaning that we're detecting coal, then this puts out a 1, which then gets written out to the mode, and this up one is mode 1, this over here is mode 0. Now, when we set this to 0, our little setting right here, that prevents it from flipping back and forth, right? So now, like if I were to put this up to like 1, I mean, granted, it's going to reset because I have those things set, but if I set this up to 1, it'll go flip, 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 right? If I set this to 2 to 1, then it'll go flip, or it'll go here, here, flip, flip, here, here, flip, flip, here, here, flip, flip, etc. And then 3 to 1 is here, 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 flip, flip, here, 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 flip, flip, etc. Right? So it's kind of how this thing is working, right? So by setting this to 0, we disable the constant flipping, right? And then we can set the mode manually, right? So that's how the whole sorting thing is sort of working, right? So that would go in there, and you can see that it does flip, and then it flips back, right? Which is what we want it to do, because this is where everything that I don't want to be sorted out will go through. But the problem is that we are flipping this after we turn it on, which means that it's already expelled the thing that we wanted to sort up. And then, yeah. So what we have to do is set up a timing circuit. Now, this timing circuit is actually not a terrible idea. And let me explain why, right? So let's say that I have a bunch of these things, and it takes, I don't know, about a second for that to figure out that there's coal in there, but it takes like half a second for it to turn on, right? So that's where the timing issue comes in, right? So if we set up a timing circuit and we have it flip or just kind of pulse on every 2 seconds, so that'll give it time to go into here, read whatever it's got to read, and determine if it's going to go up or this way. And then when we hit the timer at 2 seconds, then after all of these things are set, it'll hit the button, it'll batch write all of these to on, then it'll go, it'll expel, and then if we have these things set to off again, it should turn itself back off, and then it's ready for the next one to come in. So that's the idea anyways. I don't know if it's actually going to work. Yeah, so now I need to build a timing circuit. Now, it is possible to make one. It's just not very user-friendly. And then also, I'm going to have to create something of a separate circuit. So I think I'm going to make a wall back here. And this wall is just going to have all of the circuitry on it. And that's pretty much all I'm going to put on it. And then it'll have sorting for each one of these things. And then I'll have just like a bunch of these in a line. So that way, whenever these things output, it'll spit out all of its stuff. It'll put it all in a nice little queue. And then it'll go through and sort through each of the different things out. And then those will go off into their own silos or stackers or something like that. I don't know. But that's the idea. So I'm going to pause because I want to try to get all of this into this video. And this is probably going to be like 3 hours of work, if I had to guess. So this is going to be a long video for me, but a shorter video for you guys. So I'm gonna set up all the walls and I will be right back. Alrighty, so I've got some walls built and that is what they look like on the outside. And the reason why I put them on the outside and not the inside is because I want to actually be able to see what I'm placing on here. And then these things, like the wire actually fits between walls. Like, okay, so what I mean by that is, so we've got a wall on the outside, right? So this is technically in this block space, right? We can also put a wall over here on this edge, right? And the wire will sit right in the middle between the two. So that's why I want to make, whoa, that was not what I had intended, but okay. Right, so I want to be able to see all of my wiring to make sure that everything's hooked up correctly, so that's why I've got all of this fun stuff on here. All right, so this logic writer, which is writing to the on state, I don't need. And then also this one over here, which is also writing to the on state. I was checking to see if like the distance like changed the timing. Turns out no, it doesn't. So we've got these things here, right? So we've got these two need to be set for each of these that you have, right? So we're going to need 2 of these per. and that just defaults these to the off and to the 0 setting position. It's possible that you don't need the setting one. You can just like set it to 0 and then it, you won't have to worry about it, but I'm not sure if that's gonna work that way, but the defaulting off is one that we definitely need. So I guess what we can do is start down here, and then I'm gonna need just a ton of wire, so I'll probably rip up all of this stuff and then redraw that thing and maybe put on the chutes over here so we have something to work with at least. And then how I want this to work is another question. So I definitely want all of these to be like, combined, right? And then these will constantly just be outputting stuff, and then we're gonna end up with a queue of stuff because each of these things will generate like 10 different items, I think. I think those are all the different ores that we have. And then it can only output one at a time, right? But then each chute can only handle one thing at a time. So imagine if we have 3 of these things outputting like 3 things constantly. So those immediately are filled up, and then as these move down, then they continue to fill up, and it's going to be a thing. I don't know. It's fine. So we've got our dirty ore kind of already set up in here, and that's kind of going into here. And we've got 44 stacks inside the silo on top of what's already here. So that's why I turned off the drills, because, I mean, this is a lot of stuff right now. Because each of those stacks is 50, right? So that's 2,200 dirty ore in there right now, plus the 14 or so that we have in here. So it's a lot. All right. So I guess the first thing we do is we start taking stuff apart. Okay, so I guess we could work down that way, and we'll start here. So first things first is this needs to be a switch. Okay, do I want... I think this is how I want it. I'm trying to figure out spacing, like if I want to have it here, or if I... Well, I suppose I can't put it there. Okay, so we'll put that there. And then I'll pick up all of this wire as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna pause. I'm basically just gonna transfer this onto the wall. So I will be right back when it's done. Alrighty. So I ended up actually running out of steel, so I had to go and make some real quick. It is very, 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 very toasty in there. And I also noticed that the glass in the back there kind of blew out, so that's super fun. But you can see all this stuff moving in there. So I've got everything turned off. I'm on the outside here because it's less hot. So I've got my gas mix turned off. I've got my fuel filler thing turned off. You can see that my pressure inside the tank is still kind of high a little bit, but it is turned off. So that will hopefully cool down. And then so long as it's, got a lot of heat to it, that should help our little Stirling engines over here, which, by the way, I could probably... I still only have the one hooked up in here, so... And then hopefully this thing is actually doing something. Is it doing anything? It's not even moving. Fun. I don't think any of the pipes are burst in there. Nope, that's 117 degrees. And then in here is 51 Wow, it is warm in here. I mean, that makes sense, I suppose. And then these things are at 26.1, so they're hopefully slowly cooling the room down, I guess. But yeah, I mean, we have a difference in temperature, so I don't know why this thing isn't working. I don't know. What do you say? What are you saying here? Pressure is... Does that mean that the pressure is too high? kPa? 8,000, so it's what, 8 megapascals, and it doesn't like that? Okay. Okay, now it's at 0. I don't know, man. I don't know how this thing is supposed to work. let me, okay, hang on. Wait, there's no power getting to it. Why is there no power going to it? Well, that could be a problem. Power, right? That's going up there. Okay. Right? Shouldn't this thing be working? Hang on. Let me place some of this extra stuff down just to see if it is just that one or if it's... I have no idea. Or maybe... Okay, no. So we have power in here. This one just doesn't want to work for some reason. And then you're saying that you need gas to work. Okay, that's fine. But then you need to be connected to everything too, so I need to run new pipes here. If it's not one thing, it's another thing. Okay, let me... And I can't turn you off, right? Is that off? I can't tell. Is that off? Well, apparently they have their own internal power, so that's interesting. I mean, I suppose they're generators, so that would make a little bit of sense. But if I were to...
Jetpack critical.
Yes, I know. Thank you. Okay, so now this is working. Right? I'm still not sure exactly how this thing works. Like, is that supposed to go up in pressure? Like, what is like the ideal operating pressure for these things, right? Because apparently 8K was not good. Okay, so that's off. So when it's off, it says on. Okay. And when it's on, it says off. Okay. Still trying to understand this stuff. Okay, so this is doing something, I think. But it's building up pressure. Like, so if there's too much pressure, does it, like, not like that or what? I don't know. Anyways, hopefully that will work on pumping some of the heat out. And yeah, it's cooling off in here already, so that's good. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just work here. Okay, so back to what I was doing. Right, so we cleared off a bunch of stuff. We've got our stacker over here. I've got my setup over here, but I need to set up the splitter thing first before I can get all that done. So I just wanted to give you guys like a really quick update of where I am so far, so you can see that I took out a bunch of stuff. So all of the smarts for this I took out, over the little room for depositing the ingots I took out. So yeah, so that's where we are right now. I'm going to pause again, and I will be right back, hopefully with more changes. Alright, so we've got some more stuff sort of kind of figured out, I think, maybe. I mean, this is just like a basic idea of what I want this whole thing to look like. So I've got this disconnected. I threw some coal in there already just to make sure that thing shuts off. Or closes, I should say, and doesn't turn back on. Then we've got that going up into the silo, so all I need to do is just put it in the little corner duct there, and then that will be connected. I've got it powered already back here. Is there like a power switch on here? Yes, there is. Okay, yeah, so I can turn that on off, just like that. All right, and then we've got our input over here. We've got our little splitty thing over here. And then if we want it to go into the coal, it'll go this way. So then we'll just have to pick up the coal kind of in there. And if it doesn't, then, or if it's not coal, then it should go over there. So now we can start setting these things up. So first things first, set your setting to 0 to 1. That'll prevent it from flip-flopping, like I said. Okay, and then for this guy, we need to set, now this is just a logic writer switch. Just a big switch, and you can tell it to, it basically just puts out a constant value for something, I guess. So we're gonna cycle this to the shoot digital flip-flop, whatever thing, right? We're gonna set this to power, right? So that should is not working. Hang on. Okay, so it is set to on. It is set to this thing, right? Hang on. Let me rename this thing to something else and see if it takes or not. Okay, so splitter coal. Confirm. Alright, so let's see. So this is now called splitter coal, which means that this thing should have changed to also splitter coal. we're outputting to logic. Wait, why is it writing to the centrifuge? There we go. Splitter coal. Okay. And then we want that to be on there. Okay, so now if I turn that on, it does that. I turn that on. Okay, so we want this to be set to constantly be off. All right. And then this thing right here, we need this to read. And of course I gotta go through and find it. There we go, so splitter coal. And for the slot, there's only one slot that you can read from, and that's the transport slot. And then we're gonna read the occupant hash. Right, so as you can see right now, the occupant hash is 0 because there's nothing in there currently. All right, so let's go and grab some coal. All right, so I'm gonna throw this coal into the input, which should already be powered via that. So we'll throw that in there. Okay. Now, this should be reading coal, right? So it moved into here. The coal is currently sitting in here, and it's not going to move because this is turned off. So this is when we can get this thing to do its little logic function things. Okay, so so yeah. So now we've got that. So 172.479.3494. I have to try to remember that because I can't exactly copy it. So 172.479. 172.479.3498. I think is no 94. Keep 3494 98 94 98 3494. Okay. All right. So now we've got our coal hash stored in our memory, right? And this is just the basics. So you need a logic writer, switch, slot reader, compare unit, and then a logic writer. That's really all you need. All right. So what we need to do now is to set this guy to read 1 from the memory. What do you mean? Oh, no, that's got to be connected up there too. Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah. You know what I should do? We're going to have to reset that thing again, or set it again. But, so, we don't need that there currently. And we can redo our wiring a little bit to do one of these things. Okay, now we can take this, because that's the, hang on, where am I going? Okay, corner, yes. All right, so that's the data input, right?
Power low.
That we want to read from. So if I take this guy now, and we put it up there only the other way, because I mean this doesn't need power, right? It just stores a value. So now let me see if I can remember what that thing was. 172.479.3494, and I just typed all of that and didn't even realize I wasn't typing. 172.479.3494. I think that's what it is. But yeah, let me check it real quick. 172.479. Okay, so this is 172.479.3494. 172.479.3494. Okay, good. All right, so now that we've got that thing set up properly. Oh, and this is going to need to be connected up there too. Crap. Yeah, I just messed up on this whole thing, didn't I? Yup. Okay, let's fix it, because there's another data input over here, as you can see. That needs to be connected as well. So, all right, let me just take all of this apart again. You get so excited that you think you got something working the way it's supposed to work, and then you find out that, nope, yeah, you don't got it. You don't got it at all. All right, so we will set this straight over here. Do this, and we'll do that. Okay, so that feeds that in. And then from here, depending on how I want to do it, I could have the memory straight up over here, kind of over in the middle. there. It doesn't really matter too much, but we do have to put it back in here. So I think I'll put it up there. It seems like a good place for it. We'll take this guy out, and then this thing needs to go like that, and then that needs to go there. Okay. Should be a better way to do this, but it's fine. Okay, so I've put this thing in enough times you would think I would remember it. So it's 17247934494, I think. Right? 17247934494. 17247934494. Okay, good. All right, now that everything is hooked up properly, we're going to have this look from the logic memory, and because that is the only thing that is connected on the data side over here, that's the only thing that it can read from. So you can click this as much as you want. It's only going to go to your logic memory, which is fine. All right, then if we have this, we want to make sure we're checking this value here against this value here, so we're going to set this to equals. And then this, we need to set to this, which is our slot reader col. Slot reader col, okay. Now when we turn this on, you can see the state is currently 0. It should read a 1. There we go. Okay, so this is equal to this, which means that it is detecting col. All right, so now that we've got that, we need to set the mode, right? Now the mode in here is what controls the arrows, right? So what we need to do is then we're going to read in from our compare unit. So there's our logic compare col, okay. So we're reading this value, so this is basically outputting a 1, which means that this is taking in a 1, right? And then we're going to output this to our splitter. Splitter col, okay. We're going to change this to mode. Now you can see that our arrow is currently facing that way. As soon as I turn this on, the arrow should face that way. Let's give it a try. There we go. Arrow faces that way. Okay, so now we know that this is set up correctly. Now, another thing that we can do here is instead of actually building a timing circuit, and this is just for testing purposes only, where is that logic processor? No, I need the switch. That's memory. This thing. There we go. All right. So this I can set to a button, right? Now, this button can be a very important button, which is literally what it's called. It's kind of hilarious. Right, so there is our very important button. And it's literally called important button, which is kind of funny. But let's see what else we got. So we have a switch, we have a lever, we have a button. We can do just like a normal button. I think that would probably work, right? Okay, so we're going to set that button to do a thing. All right, now what we want that thing to do is we want this to be a logic writer. Now I'm just going to connect in all of the wires for this, and then we'll see if we can make it work. Wish me luck. I have not done this yet. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Who knows? I need you to be a corner. I also need you to be a corner, and I need you to also be a corner. No, I need you to be a straight. Then I need you to be a corner, and then you to be one of these things. All right. So now that that is kind of doing its thing, when I hit this...
Caution.
Yeah, let me take care of that. Well, actually, hold on. There you go. Simple fix. And then let me throw in a new battery so I don't run out of power. All right. So there's that. All right, now, if this works properly, I can get this thing to cycle on-off. So let's give it a try. I have no, like I said, I have no idea if this is going to work or not. If this does not work, then odds are the timer circuit is also not going to work, so then there's no point in building it. So we're going to look in from our activate button, and I should call this a name like sort. Confirm. Okay, so that is what that is called now. Now, nope, I don't need that. I need screwdriver. Okay. So now I'm going to read that. Okay, so it's going to read this. And then when this goes to a 1, I want it to put this out onto our splitter. Okay, there's our splitter coal, and then this will be on our on. Okay, okay. So when I hit this button, it should cycle this thing on and then off again. And then it should shoot out the coal and then turn itself back off again. I don't think it did anything. No, not doing nothing. Oh, right, I gotta turn this on. Okay. So current state is 0, right? So I'm gonna hit it from over here so we can see if that thing lights up. There we go. So you see that it flipped on and then it flipped off again, right? The reason why it flipped off again is because, actually it might be because of this. But I think because I'm constantly writing an off state, so a state of 0, which should hold this thing off. Now you can see that the arrow went back to that way, right? So let me pick this guy up. And then let's pick up something that is not coal. So how about silver? All right, so what's gonna happen here is we're gonna throw the silver in. All right, okay, so now the silver is in here. Now we are reading the silver hash, which is actually a negative number, interestingly enough. So that's obviously gonna put out a 0 in our compare because it does not equal that, right? So then what's gonna happen is this is going to write to our mode as 0, and our mode is that, right? So 0 is out that way, 1 is up that way. Now, this mode may or may not be working correctly right now. And let me explain to you why. So I'm going to switch this out for this little configuration thing, which is actually useful for troubleshooting. So if we read this, we can see that our mode, okay, our mode is set to 0. Okay, so the issue that I was having with the sorter is that after every sort, it would change your mode to -1. And no matter what I could do with all of my stuff here, I couldn't, like you can't go from a -1 to a 0 for some reason. I don't know why. You should be able to set it, but it wasn't letting me do that, right? So now if I sort, right, it should put that out that way. And then it turns off again, so it's just cycling through everything. So I think this is working. So I'm gonna throw that in there. And then I need to test something. I need to make sure that this is only gonna process one thing at a time, right? So there we go. So we've got our silver in there, we've got our coal here. Now our silver is gonna shoot out that way. We wanna make sure that this thing turns off before it has a chance to shoot the coal out that way as well. Wish me luck. Nope, it shot them both out. Okay. So that's gonna be another complication. So how do I get that to fix? So I wanted to do just like one thing at a time, but I need this thing to like flick on and off so quickly that it doesn't have a chance to shoot out both, right? Because if I'm doing that, then it's not working, right? Man, I was kind of hoping that would work. I mean, it sort of works in a way, sort of, kind of, anyways. I was just hoping it wasn't sorting so quickly. Okay, so let me think here. Now, there's another issue with these things too, right? There was something that I was kind of messing with a bit before. Let me grab one of these things. And then I gotta take this guy apart. Okay. So, and I suppose I should take that apart too to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Right. So we've got What is, that can go there. Okay, then we've got our powered chute there, right? Okay. And then what is this? Powered chute. Okay, yes. Right. Yeah. And that can go there. Okay. Good. So here's the thing, right? If I want to put in, let's say, wait, a chute bin. How does, could this do what I need it to do? This has like one output. No, it has two outputs. Okay, hang on. So we've got our output here. Okay, so this does take a thing. Okay, I might be able to make something work with this chute bin, potentially. Potentially. Maybe not, but we'll see. But anyways, I wanted to go to the digital valve, right? So the problem with the digital valve is that you cannot place this thing next to that, right? So it just won't let you do it. And the reason why that is a problem is because with this digital valve, I can hold something in here, inside the digital valve, until I, cycle it, and then it'll push the next thing through, right? But once again, this is going to have the whole on-off thing, because as soon as this is turned on, then it'll just shoot a bunch of stuff through. Which is not ideal, of course. But if I wanted to use this thing, I would have to put it like here, right? Now with this digital valve, it's got an open and a close, right? And it's also has an on-off. So you can have a close threshold be at 1, right? And then I think that would work to hold one thing in there, and then it'll shoot one thing through. So maybe this will work, maybe it won't, I don't know. I have to play around with it to see how it works. So as long as we're both here, or we're all here, I should say. So if I have this thing set to 1, right, and we're going to keep this thing closed, then I have to put in another windowed, I don't have to do a windowed chute, but I want to see this stuff in there. Then I have to do another inlet, outlet, nope, inlet, there we go. And then that's going to need power as well. So let's get that going. All right, so that is the power for that. That can go over there. All right, so I want to see how this thing works. So I want to keep this thing on. And then I have no idea how to test this thing to see if it'll work or not. Okay, so if I throw that in there. Okay, so it's closed, right? Now if I put another thing in here. Okay, so that's waiting. It's not even moving it. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Oh, wrong direction. Okay. That's fine.
Hydration critical.
No, we don't need to. Although that battery's gonna have to get replaced again. All right. All right, so let me get some water real quick. I'm gonna figure this out. I am way too stubborn to not figure it out. And I want it to be relatively simple, if I can. Right, helmet closed. Okay, let's do that, get our drink on. Get our food on as well. Okay, so there's a drink, there's our food. We will fill up, replace our oxygen. It's good to go. Our exhaust tank is fine. We have tons of tomatoes. Those are all, I think, seeded right now, so it'd be able to get some more tomato seeds out of that, which is good. Here we go. Okay, so now if I were to push this thing through, is that going to stop this one from also going through? If it does, great. If it doesn't, issues. Okay, so it did it. It did a thing. I don't see the silver over here, so I think that means the silver is currently in here. So that's good. Right? Okay, it's detecting the... Okay. This seems to be working. Let me throw in another writer. Oh, hey, it doesn't like that very much. Do you need that? Why do you need that? Oh, because that's not connected through there. That makes sense. Okay. Hang on. I need you, sir, if you don't mind. All right, so let me do another writer. I'll throw that over there for now. All right, and then I need you to do a thing, if you don't mind. Okay, so there's that. Oh, no, I don't need that. Well, dude, calm down. Okay. We'll do that, and then I need one more cable in here to do that, and that should have everything communicating again, right? Yes. Okay. Now, this is going to be... No. Ideally, I want these to be batch writers. So what I'm going to do is, when I push this button, it'll not only turn this thing on, but it'll also trigger this. So hopefully this will work. Cross your fingers. Okay, so from here, we want to read in from our button again, which is our sort button. There we go. And then we're going to run this out to our digital valve write. Shoot digital valve write, okay. And we want this to go into the open, right? So right now this is reading a 0 because I haven't pushed anything. So when I push this button, it should not only spit out this guy over here, but it should also move the silver into here. Now, I don't know if it's going to shoot it out right away. It probably will, let's be honest. Yeah, it did. Okay. So that kind of sucks. Okay, so what if I had a second button? So one to make these things sort, and then another one to make that open, right? And then if I have them spaced like a second apart, maybe that would be enough. But we did sort our coal again, so that's good. We'll throw that back in there. Okay, so that is closed again, good. And that will hold off of that. I mean... Oh, wait. I think I do need to split these apart. I don't think that'll work with that. So we hit the button. That'll move that over to there, right? You can see that it switched, and it takes time to switch for some reason. I don't know why it takes that long. But then we sort. Okay, so that's that. And then we hit the button over here. Then it moves the silver over. You can see that it did that thing. And then we sort again. And then it moved the silver out to that side. So I think we can make use of this. I think this will work. It's just going to be a little awkward. Yeah, because we're going to need, I mean, so here's the thing. With the timing circuit, you do it in increments, right? And I can check, so let's say that I do a timer for like 4 seconds, right? So it'll throw in like a second, right? It'll add it to a memory, and then it'll read back the memory, say, does it equal 4? If not, you know, then add, and then add another one onto the memory. Then it'll read the memory again, say, does this equal 4? It does not, so then it'll go into the adder. add another 1, and then the memory will be at 4, and then it'll say, hey, does the 4 equal 4? And it says yes. Okay, and if that's the case, then you reset. So, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get that working. And I might put like another wall like right here just to kind of house it. That'd probably be a good idea, actually. Yeah, so let me throw up another wall here. You know what? I'm gonna pause because we're at 45 minutes already, and we still have more to do. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, so this is kind of what the circuit timer looks like. If you go onto the Stationeers wiki and you look up circuit timer, you can actually find this. So I haven't set any of the values yet, so I'm just gonna do this with you guys so we can all learn how to set this stuff up at the same time. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check out this compare unit, and it says the compare math unit value equal to max value. Okay. So then we have to name some of these things. So we're gonna set this one up to equal current value. So this is kind of like the counter. So that's actually what I'm gonna call it, is the counter. And then we have an increment value, which I'll just call increment. And then we also have a reset value. If I could type here, okay. And now this should be set to 0. And then our max value, so this is gonna be, I'm just gonna call it max, okay. So we're gonna set this up to, so if we're doing 1 integer intervals, I want it to go up to, wait, hold on. Okay, so there are 2 cycles per second. Okay, so then that kind of makes sense. So then if we want to count the cycles and we want to go 2 seconds, that'll be 4 cycles, right? Okay, so there's that. So that is set to 4. Our reset value, whoops. This is going to be set to 0, okay. And then this is our, what was this one? Increment value. Okay, so this we will set to 0.5. Okay, so I'm just going off of what it says in the thing. So we're going to set that up to there. And then our counter, read the right side of this chip to only have the time in other circuit round for whole seconds. I don't know. We'll set this to 0 for now. Okay. So we've got everything named, we've got everything set. Okay, so we've got, oh wait, no, I renamed that to 0. That's not what I wanted to do. Sir, counter, confirm. Set that to 0. Okay, so there we go. Increment, max, reset. Okay. So we've got our stuff set, right? So now what we want to do is we want to set our compare unit, right? So we are going to compare the math unit value, which is down here. So should I set this first? Okay. So this is going to take the current value, which is going to be our counter. It is going to add our increment. Okay. So this will go from 0 and it'll add 0.5. Okay. Now we compare that. So if this is at 0 right now, the next increment it'll be 0.5, et cetera, so on and so forth. Okay, so then compare unit compares the math value, logic math, and I should name this timer math. Timer math. This will be timer compare. Confirm. Timer select, I guess. And then timer write. Okay, so we got our math unit. It is incrementing by 0.5 each time. Okay, and then we compare our math value here. So this is the incremented thing, right? So we're going to compare that. And we're going to check that to make sure that that equals, or we're going to check if it equals the max value. and I should probably name these timer max and timer all that. Okay. Timer. All right, so that'll be good. Okay. So that, I don't think that should have broken anything, so we'll just check everything real quick. So timer counter, adding timer
Filter
increment.
low.
Filter low, what? Oh, right. It also says that I need to drink something. So let me do that real quick and we'll go get right back to this stuff. I'll just pause. I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So we were up here in the select unit, I think. Wait, no. Yeah, so we're comparing the math to the max, okay. And then the select unit, if compare unit false, math value, if compare unit true, reset value. What? Hang on. I have never used one of these, so I'm not really sure how they work. Okay, hold on. So we got an input and we have an input too. So we have two inputs, and then this is what we want to select. Hang on, I'm going to look this up real quick and see if I can figure out how this thing is supposed to work. I'll be right back. I'm not quite sure what this thing is supposed to look at. Actually, let me go back to this thing. Okay, so we need to look at two different things, right? So we're looking at if compare unit false. Oh, I got it. Okay. I got it. I understand how this thing works now. Okay. So we want to put this thing on the compare unit. Timer compare, okay? Now, this thing is going to give us a true or false, right? So it's either going to be a 1 or a 0. If it is a 0, output a 0, or whatever, do whatever this thing is supposed to be. So if it is 0, so that means that it does not equal this, then we want this to go to math value. If compare unit false, math value. I don't know if I have this thing written correctly, but, and then if true, then the reset value. Okay, so this can put out one thing or another thing, right? So then this will go to the math value. Okay. Timer math, okay? So if 0, it'll go to the timer math, and then if 1, it'll go to the timer reset. And that means that we reached 4 seconds. Or 2 seconds. 2 seconds? I think it's 2 seconds. Okay, so that's going to be reset. Okay. So it's going to check this thing out. If it is, and actually if I knew this thing, I probably could have simplified this whole thing too. It's fine. I'll think about this later. So, okay. And then we want this thing to write. Okay, but first we want this to look at our select unit. Okay, and then we're going to have that output to the current value. Okay, this is starting to make sense in my head a little bit, slightly. Okay, so then we want this to go to our counter. Okay. And then what we're going to output is whatever this thing says. All right, so we want to output, we're setting this to, well, that's the only thing it can be set to. Okay. So, I guess we just turn everything on and see how it works, if it works. Hey, it's doing a thing. It is doing a thing. And it reset. Okay, interesting. 3.54. Okay, so 4 is also 0. Okay, so it's doing a thing. So this will only turn into a 1 when the math value equals 4. Okay, so that time it equaled 4. And then this is checking out what... Oh, this is writing. Okay, so then this is writing to this. So this is our counter, which is also incrementing as we go, right? So I mean, it's working. Okay, so then this is our timer, and then we can adjust the values by changing our max. Reset's always going to be, 0. Timer increment, we can change that as well. So if we want this to go a little bit faster in like full units, we could just increase this. Let me see, probably a smaller value. Oh, whoops, I messed that up. Okay, hang on. Let me stop this real quick. And then this thing, we're going to change that to 8. No, let's just put it on 10. And then this thing, we're going to moderately increase this to 10. Actually, hold on. And then let me drop it down. Ooh, no, not that. Holy crap, dude. 100? Crazy. Okay, so we'll put this at 5. Okay, so this should be doing pretty much the same thing. So if we turn this thing back on, there we go. So now it's going 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Okay, so this is a bit more easier to understand, I think, instead of like doing half values. Okay, so it'll do 1 count or 2 counts every second, right? So 1 1,000, 2. Actually, does that have a second? I don't know. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, so now that we've got this doing a thing, right, and it's counting and it's resetting and it's doing this whole thing, right? The reason I have this over here is because now when this thing equals a certain number, or when the counter equals a certain number, so this would be read, I would do a read over here. If it equals, then I would need another memory chip to check it at whatever value that I want. And then if it equals that, then I can have it do a thing. So that would be out to a batch writer. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think I'm gonna need another wall though. So yeah. But we are getting closer to making this thing work. Oh my goodness. All right. So that can go up there, and then we'll take this guy, make it a wall. Here we go, nice little white wall there. Okay, so now we can put some other stuff on here. So we want to read, so that'll be this logic IO. And then we're going to need to set this thing up to, let me see, batch reader, reagent reader, batch slot. There we go, logic reader, okay. So we're going to set this thing up here. And then we're going to have this thing read off of... Right, it needs to be connected first. That makes sense. It's like, why isn't it doing a thing? All right, so that can go down there, and I'm going to need probably another one down here. And then I'm going to need more cable, so let's make some more cable. Cable. All right. Probably going to need a lot more cable, let's be honest. You know what I could do? Instead of bringing that around to another wall here, I could actually put the wall here instead. I think I will actually do that. Are we out of copper? We're out of copper. Uh-oh. That could be a bad thing. I don't know if I have any... Oh wait, no, I do have copper. Extra 33 copper right here. There you go. Continue making the cable, please. All right. So that can just do its thing. I'm going to take this thing apart real quick. And drill. Right. Okay, so there's the ice. No, I need the drill. Drop that. Okay, that should be enough cable for now. Alright, so that should be good. 24 cable. Maybe it'll be enough, maybe it won't, who knows. Alright, so I need to take this thing apart. I need a crowbar. Okay, grab crowbar. Okay, so there's our plastic. We'll put our plastic back. Actually, no, I'm going to need the plastic to rebuild the wall. Okay, then I think I'm going to need an angle grinder to remove the wall. Okay. And then we will set this thing up in this block space to go that way. Alright, and then we'll throw on the plastic. Oh, crap. I built a wall, or a window instead of a wall. That was my bad. Try again. Alright, so that goes there, and then we need this guy to be the wall, type 1, good. Alright, and then we put the plastic on the wall, there we go. And now we're good to go in here. Okay, so. Okay, so we're gonna need this to be like a 4-way here. Actually, no, that's not gonna work, because I can't put that on the corner. I can put it over here, but then it would make sense to do that, and then am I gonna have enough room for everything else that I need? I don't think so. So I think I am gonna actually put it back there. Okay, do it again. Let's go. Alright, let's try this one more time. No, I did the wrong thing. Dang it. I don't want to make a window, I want to make a wall. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so let's try this again. Keep that where it is. It's fine. Alright, and then we need our cable to go into the readers. Okay. So then this is our I/O. Okay, so there's our logic reader. And then we're going to need another one of these things to be one of these. Alright. Okay, so we're going to need this, we're going to need memory, and we're going to need a compare, and we're going to need a write. That is a lot of stuff. That is a lot of stuff. Why do I need that much stuff? I mean, I suppose. Man, I just... Okay, so if I want this thing to activate at 2 different intervals, so I'll probably do one at 5 and one at 10. That should give me enough room or enough time for everything else to do, you know, its thing. Alright, so that'll go there. Okay, so logic readers first, then memory. So I'm going to need a couple of memories. That's one more logic I/O over there, so I need 2 more memories. Alright, memory. Now, could I do all of this with a computer, motherboard, whatever interface thing? Yeah, that's how they designed it. But I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it my way. And plus, I don't want to have to learn like another programming language just to be able to play a game. So at least with this, like it's just all logic and stuff, which I can actually understand relatively easily. Oh, no. Can't put it there because I need to connect over onto that side, so this is going to go over here. My goodness. Alright. So that can go there, that can go there, and then this needs to be one of these things, and then another one of these things. Alright, and then we're going to need a couple compares, so that's going to be fun. I need like an even longer wall here. This is ridiculous. Oh wait, whoa, Whoa. No, I'm not. No, this, I only need one logic reader. So let me get rid of this, get rid of this, probably get rid of that, and I'm probably gonna need that, I don't know. But I'm only gonna need one logic reader, because I'm only reading one thing, right? I'm only gonna be reading that, that's it. So, if that's the case, then I can take both of these memories. These are the values that I want to hold to compare against. So we'll take that. Okay, so then this is our compare 1, this is our compare 2. And then I want to rename these things. So this is compare 5. This is going to be compare 10. Confirm. Okay. So this is going to read. No device. What are you talking? Oh, right, because that needs to be connected. Okay, so let me get you connected real quick. Okay. So that is going to read our timer counter. Timer compare, timer counter. Okay. And then we're going to be reading, yeah, the setting. Okay. So this is constantly reading that. And actually, you know what? Well, no, because I think I still need a reader. I was going to say I could pull off of one of these other things, right? Because this is constantly looking at stuff too. Yeah, see, like this thing is constantly pulling off stuff too. So I need to be smarter about this. If everything, if like a bunch of these different things are all reading already, then I may not need all of this craziness. So let me reorganize again. Oh, battery ran out again. This is like the third time I've had to replace this battery, fourth time, one of those two. I don't know. It's fine. We have batteries. All right. So that can go there. Okay. So you, I don't necessarily need there. You, I also don't necessarily need there. And if that is the case, then I can change this up, and I can put this memory piece here. Okay. So this is our 5. I need screwdriver. Also, you can be picked up as well. Okay, so this is going to be our 10, and then this one is going to be our 5. So I have to, hold on, let me name these things properly again. Okay, so this is going to be timer, compare. Oh, actually, hold on. Memory, timer, memory 10. Okay. Now, I think we can get a little bit more creative with our wiring. So let me take this off, and this off, and that off, and that off. Okay, so now we're going to need our compares, right? So we want to compare the value that we are reading. So this is our compare unit. And I'm going to need another one over here.
Waste tank caution.
Okay. So we are going to compare something. And that is how that's going to have to go. And then that can go that way.
Power low.
Man, it never gives me a break. All right, it's always something. All right, so there's our power. Okay, so now that's got all of the power and all of the things. Okay, so now I want this to read off of something. And then I should probably rename this. So if I make this timer compare 5. Timer compare 5. There we go. All right. Now I want you to read off of something that has the timer. Okay, so I want to make sure this goes all the way up to 10, because we do have to read a 10. Okay, good. So it does read a 10. So we're going to read off of our math unit. Timer math. Okay. Turn that on. And we're going to compare that. So we're going to make sure, we're going to check if it equals our timer memory 5. Timer memory 10, timer memory 5. Okay, so that's when it equals 5, then it goes back down to 0. And then it'll, when it gets back around to 5, it'll hit it again. Now, let me... Wait. I can probably do this with a select unit now that I understand how those things work. So let me try that instead. Because then instead of having 2 compares, I can just do... Okay, so logic select, right? Yes, okay. So let me see if I can figure out how to make this thing work. Actually, no, this isn't going to work, is it? No, I think I'm still going to need a compare. Because, I mean, I can put the timer increment, timer math max, memory 10, memory 5. Oops, no, other way. Okay, so then I can read this and then, no, so that's not going to work. Okay, I thought it, I don't know, I'm still learning about this thing, so I don't know. Likely not going to work though. So I still need to compare. And then we're going to bring in the math unit. I think we're like way over an hour right now, but that's fine. Okay, so timer math equals timer memory 5. Okay, and then I need another processing thing. So logic, processor, running out of materials, that's not great. Okay, so there's that. Now we'll take this other processor and we'll stick this on here too. Wait, no, compare, yes. All right. So that should turn on whenever we reach a 5. Just gonna wait for it, make sure it does. Okay, so there's our 1, and it drops back down. Okay, good. All right. Now, same thing here. We're going to read from our math unit again. Oops, back one. There we go. Okay, so now we're reading our timer math, and we're going to check to see if that equals our timer memory 10. Okay, now this should go to a 1 as soon as I turn it on, of course. Okay, so there's our 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 should go to a 1. 2, 3, 4, 5 should go to a 1. There we go. So now we have this thing flipping back and forth every fifth increment, I guess. So, wow, this is ridiculous. Hold on, is there a display logic, like a display thing? Processor memory? No. I thought there was. Display, hash display, no. I thought there was something like a digital display or something like that. Is it under digital? No. Okay. I have to see if I can find it. I've seen it in like some pictures that I've been coming across as I'm looking up stuff. Ogre, okay. Mode control, pipe bender, mod, blah, 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 blah. Power control, don't care. Hemdroid repair kit, interesting. It's all the rocket stuff. Batteries, cable analyzer, that's interesting. Consoles, I might be able to do something with a console, but I thought that there was a thing that kind of was like a digital readout or something like that. Sensor, speaker, trigger plate, kit transformer.
Hydration critical.
Oh, calm down. I'm looking here. There's a laptop? What? What is this? That is insane. Okay, I can't find it right now, but I'm sure it exists somewhere. I'll look it up and see what I can find. But if I can have that just read off of this guy or just read off of our math right here, and have that be up here, then I can compare like when these things switch on and off. But yeah, so we've got our timer set up. We've got our couple of values that we want to check as the timer goes on. So this should be able to activate this, and then that, and then back to this, and then back to that, and then it'll just kind of rotate between these things. And if I have those go out to a batch writer, it should be able to read or write to all of these at the same time, and then all of these at the same time. So that way, hopefully it works as intended. And then I can just expand this out that way to, and then build a bunch more silos for all of the different stuff. And then hopefully it'll work. But I think for now, I mean, this is, wow, hour 18 minutes. Yeah, this has been a long video. So, that's all I got for now. We did a lot. And I have discovered that it is possible to make this thing sort for us instead of using the actual sorters. So that'll be good. And then, yeah, we can hopefully get this thing working properly and then connect this up to our line of stuff over here and then just have the whole thing just kind of do a thing. And then I'm probably going to have this thing go like in this block space here so it feeds down and in, or maybe put it over here and have that feed down and in. And then I'll put some sort of a thing so it will cycle through there. I don't know. I'll figure something out, but it should work. It's not going to be the fastest thing in the world, but I mean, I'm not going to be over here constantly looking at this, so I think it'll be fine. But yeah, so that's what I got. And then it's got the stacker back here, so it'll stack to max stacks at 50 before it stores into there, and then we can just store like a ridiculous amount of ores and stuff. Hopefully I have enough centrifuges. I figure 3 would be good for 2 drills. We'll see how that goes. And then I also have a silo over here to catch the dirty ore, which is also being stacked to 50. So we'll have 600 possible stacks of 50, which is going to give us 3,000 dirty ore to be processed through all of this stuff. So if that ever gets all the way full, we can just turn these things off and let that just drain for a while. But yeah, so I think we're well on our way. But yeah, this seems to be working so far. And then ignoring these over here, this is what we're going to need for all of the different ores. So it's just going to be 5 ICs and then our timing circuit. And that's it. So hopefully that'll make things a little bit easier for those of you who aren't exactly into all of the craziness here, you know, with the motherboards and computers and you know, programming languages and stuff like that. So you can follow along with what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure this out as I go. Luckily, I am actually a programmer in real life. I mean, it's not my job, but it is a skill that I have. So I kind of understand like a lot of this stuff, and I'm also a teacher, and I actually do that in real life. So I'm relatively good at actually teaching this stuff too. So if you follow along, hopefully we will all gain some understanding, and we will all be able to play this game a little bit better and enjoy it a little bit more. So that is the idea, and we have survived 193 days without dying, and we are on day 193, so that's pretty good. All right, so that's all I got. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did, I hope you'll join me for the next one, where we will likely keep working on all of this stuff, all of that stuff, I should say. But yeah, so that's what I got. Yeah. All right. I have no idea what I'm doing. My brain is just fried right now. Anyways, have a good one.